Relationships expose the programs you are running. Awakenings are a natural occurrence in relationships. There are many different types of relationships, each with its potential for personal growth. The more intimate the relationship, the easier it will be to identify programs from your past. When you are in an intimate relationship that you value, you will find the courage to face the unresolved blocks and eliminate them, as that would undermine this most beautiful relationship before it ever had a chance to blossom. Other types of relationships are the casual ones, work related ones, and family relationships. These types of relationships make it easier to spot the programs running you and them. Your capacity to be loving, responsible, patient, understanding, compassionate, truthful, and attentive in these relationships is the testing ground to know what you want and what you don't want in an intimate relationship. For example, if these relationships are not reciprocal regarding mutual respect and trust, and you are still in these relationships, then you are just along for the ride. However, these relationships will eventually serve their purpose by breaking you out of old patterns and programs. How long that takes will depend entirely on you, as the day will come when you change, making this unbearable to tolerate any longer. Your awakening will happen when you take the time to honestly break down what is not working for you in these relationships. Doing this will first expose your disappointments. By the way, disappointment is the hardest emotion to get over, as that's when you realize you are not appreciated. The good news is that this is not your problem, it's theirs. Once you remove yourself from the problem, there is no problem. However, you must examine how you allowed this to happen in the first place, so you don't bring this old program into future relationships, especially the intimate one. Relationships are based on give and take. If by nature you are selfish, then expecting meaningful relationships of any kind will be unrealistic. If, on the other hand, you possess a giving nature and are appreciated for this, you will have truly loving relationships in your life. This is a quote from Vincent Van Gogh. The more I think it over, the more I feel that there's nothing more truly artistic than to love people. This quote is about unconditional relationships with people. Both sides win, like the friendship you cherished when you were a child. You will always remember that relationship. We need more of that in the relationship mix. That relationship was based on mutual interest. You did things together that you both liked. You were curious and weren't afraid to try new things. You trusted each other. You talked and shared everything. You even made plans for your futures as you imagined them together. Spoiler alert, I never personally experienced this with any other kid, but I did when I awakened to the presence of my spirit guides. No one ever told me not to talk with my elusive friends because they never caught me doing it. I was very careful protecting this most loving relationship I had with them. Having a relationship with them is how I learned to have worthwhile relationships in the 3D world, although they have been rare. This is how I found balance in the 3D world, by having access to my guides who provided timely guidance while leading me to my purpose here. They are always present, loving, and non judgmental. What more could you possibly ask of a relationship? For those of you who have never had this relationship with another kid, but can relate to it, like it's easy to imagine, is because you did feel the presence that something or someone was there, even though you may not remember it. Now I'm going to read from, I could show this, there we go. My Guided Journey. This is the companion journal to Guided. And I'm going to read an excerpt out of the journal in chapter 3, part 2, chapter 3. You brought your real friends with you, your spirit guides and angels. Your first friends were your spirit guides and angels. You brought them with you. You came into this world with these unconditional friends. They have always been with you, guiding you. You have never been alone. Before reason dominated your thoughts, you relied on your knowing. Knowing relies solely on what you feel the instant you feel it. As a small child, you don't question this knowing, so doubt never had an opportunity to interfere. Hands down, this had to be the best time in your life, but it didn't last long. That's because the people who got here before you did thought they knew better than you did and interrupted who you were. After all, in their minds, you were just a kid and didn't know anything. At least that was the common myth. You didn't think about who those friends were, your spirit guides and angels, only that they were always there when you reached out to them. They helped you understand and experience new things. It was a natural feeling to be with them. There was no separation between you and them. You never felt alone. It was peaceful and easy to learn the way you did because they didn't teach you anything. They just triggered you with events that ignited your passions and set you on your journey of self realization. They were always there to help you understand when you had questions. It was a natural response to ask these friends first. The answers came as fast as your curiosity and wonder created the question, making it feel like both the question and answer happened at the same time. These friends came to you so naturally that you never questioned their validity. You weren't hiding these friends from anyone, but you weren't talking about them either. You weren't concerned with anyone else's opinion or judgment of you or of them. This is how you were able to easily connect with them anytime you wanted. They were not separate from you because you knew them, remembered them, and were one with them. You knew who you were. You knew you were not alone. This was as natural as it gets because it was pure truth. You were still connected to the truth and love that you came from. It's what it's like before you get here. This was all possible before you completely acclimated to this world. Okay, you guys, and like always, you know that you have help and that you are never alone and always being guided.